Well, it was a blow to the Harris campaign yesterday as the vice president becomes the first Democratic presidential candidate in almost 30 years to not secure the endorsement of the Teamsters union. The group is not endorsing either candidate. Rank and file members favor former President Trump in the polling within the Teamsters by almost 30 points. According to both a phone poll and an online poll that they did, Neil Cavuto asked Teamsters President Sean O'Brien if this means that leadership is disconnected from its members, something we brought up here yesterday with Corey Lewandowski.
No, we're definitely not disconnected from our members because, look, we did extensive polling that was important. Our members are sophisticated. They're going to make their own decisions. But this is a bigger problem. You know, the Democrats have always taken for granted that they're going to get our vote no matter what. And the Republicans fancy themselves as the working people's party. I think right now both sides have to take a step back and really reevaluate what their commitment is to working people.
Okay. With that, we bring in Fox News contributor Marc Thiessen and columnist David Marcus, who writes for Fox today that by not endorsing either candidate, the reliably blue union may well be backing Trump. May as well be backing Trump. Good to have both of you with us. David, welcome, and Marc, welcome. I want to start here by playing back-to-back a soundbite from AOC, who was disturbed by this decision yesterday of no endorsement for Kamala Harris, and then Sean O'Brien once again on his reaction to that. Watch this.
When the Teamsters are in trouble, who do they call? When we need to make sure that Teamsters pensions are bailed out, when we need to make sure that they have a fair shake at the negotiating table with rail, it was Sean O'Brien calling Democrats for help.
She has to remember that, you know, there is a clear divide, especially in Teamster members, between the Democrats and the Republicans. And instead of trying to pick a fight with labor leaders who listen to their members and embrace their members' opinions, she should maybe get into her district where it voted far Republican, far-right Republican, and maybe find out what the problem is.
Yeah. Well, her district is in Long Island, David, and boy, did the former president get a big turnout last night in Uniondale, and then he stopped at a bar and got a big response there, made the rounds in New York City to a very warm embrace by those who were there to see him. Your take on this new development from the Teamsters, David?
Yeah, and I'm sure that there were a lot of Teamsters at the Nassau Coliseum last night. At least there were when I used to go to Islanders games.
Yep.
Listen, the problem Harris has here is that when you look at the polling from the internal Teamsters polling from July, when Joe Biden was still in the race, not only was he beating President Trump, he was beating him by almost 10 points. Now Harris is losing by 30 points. I've never seen a shift like that. Maybe Mark has. I never have. And it makes sense. This was Scranton Joe. He's got deep, ancient roots in the labor movement. I mean, this guy was dealing with the Teamsters when Jimmy Hoffa was the president. Not a joke. And if the serious, I mean, he was. But if these polling results from the Teamsters are reflected with the United Auto Workers and the hospitality unions in Nevada, then boy, howdy, Kamala Harris has a big problem, and I don't know how she fixes that in 47 days.
Interesting. And you're just reminding me of President Biden, who we haven't seen say anything lately. So just your impression just reminded me that he's still president. We don't see him very often. It's kind of striking. Marc, your take on what's going on here. What does it say about the vote that is coming in just a matter of weeks now?
Well, first of all, David's problem is he's going to Islander games instead of Ranger games, so that's one problem there.
He said
but in terms of the topic we're here to discuss, look, this is a huge blow to Kamala Harris, not just because of the non-endorsement, but a Teamster endorsement comes with a Teamster mobilization effort. The Teamster get out the vote effort. That's going to hurt her a lot in Michigan, in Pennsylvania, in Wisconsin, and other states where you have a huge union vote. So this is practically putting aside the endorsement of the leadership. But the other thing is these unions are out of touch with their own members right now. Yeah. I mean, I would think the 60 to 30 vote of the Teamsters members. I would suggest that means that the Teamsters ought to endorse Donald Trump. That's what their members want. And the same thing with the UAW. I think UAW workers are going to be voting for Kamala Harris. Even their own leadership admits that their members will probably vote for Trump. So these unions are completely out of touch with their own members, and they need to get in touch because the Republican Party is now the party of the working class. The Democrats Democrats are the party of the elites.
I mean, you know, clearly Trump's platform is about bringing manufacturing back here. A lot of people have issues with the tariff question, but the point is that you bring manufacturing back to the United States, which of course is going to help the union vote. And I think that those polls are way more important than what the leadership says, because those polls are voters. Yep. Those are actual voters. I want to squeeze this in really quickly because there's been so much discussion about Project 2025, and it was great to see the head of the Heritage Foundation, Kevin Roberts, interviewed by Bret Baier last night and asked about whether or not President Trump supports this. You know, how close was he to the origination of this? And the answer was quite clear. Watch this.
Did Donald Trump, former president, ever endorse this project before it happened? Was he a part of the formation of Project 2025?
No to both, because that's not how we can operate as a public policy organization. We have to be candidate agnostic as a 501c3.
Quick reaction to that, David.
Yeah, look, this is an issue. I travel the country, you know, for Fox Digital, interviewing voters and writing columns about it. And everybody knows Project 2025. It's not fair. Trump obviously has not endorsed it, but it's out there. And hats off to the Democrats. They've done a really good job at creating this boogeyman.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to matter that he didn't have anything to do with it. And the Heritage Foundation says, look, we can't even align with a candidate. It's not how we're allowed to operate in terms of our tax status as a think tank, essentially. There's plenty of progressive think tanks, conservative think tanks, and they're all putting stuff out there. But you're right. They've been semi-successful in this. Very quick, Mark. Sorry.
I interviewed Donald Trump on Monday,
yep.
And this is the first thing he raised with me, and he's apoplectic at the Heritage Foundation. This is not his aides that are upset. He's mad because this has nothing to do with this. Right now, he owns the center, according to the New York Times poll. They're trying to paint him as an extremist, and they're using the Heritage Foundation to do it. No think tank has done more damage to a presidential campaign than the Heritage Foundation.
Interesting. Thank you very much. Marc Thiessen, David Marcus, great to see you both. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.